Hey friends, Miss Cassie here with Solon Public Library's Digital Storytime. This month we're going to be talking about shapes and shadows. And today is a very special day. It is Groundhog Day. So we're going to learn more about that in our story time. But first we need to sing our welcome song and we need to get our clapping hands ready. So we're going to wiggle our fingers and shake our hands and rub them together really fast, really fast, really fast. And put them on our knees. All right, here we go. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. All right, what do we do after we clap our hands? That's right, we stomp our feet. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. What do we do after we stomp our feet? That's right, we twirl around. If you want to read a book, twirl around. If you want to read a book, twirl around. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, twirl around. Okay, for our last verse, we're going to be as quiet as we can. And we're going to whisper, hooray. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. Our theme song this month is A Circle is a Shape. And it is sung to the tune of The Wheels on the Bus. So we're going to talk about 3 shapes in our song. We have a circle, just like this. We have a triangle, and we'll start at the top. 1, 2, 3 sides to our triangle. And we have a square, and a square has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you ready to sing our song? Okay, let's go. A circle is a shape that goes round and round, round and round, round and round. A circle is a shape that goes round and round, round and round. A triangle is a shape that has 3 sides, has 3 sides, has 3 sides. A triangle is a shape that has 3 sides, has 3 sides. All right, now we're on to the square. This one's going to be a little bit faster, but I think you can do it. A square is a shape that has 4 sides, has 4 sides, has 4 sides. A square is a shape that has 4 sides, has 4 sides. Did you get your squares in? Good job, friends. Our first book today is called Groundhog Day, and it's written by Mark Tyler Nobleman. And we are going to learn a little bit more about Groundhog Day. Raise your hand if you have heard of Groundhog Day before. It's okay if you haven't. It is a kind of fun holiday. Groundhog Day is a festival in the United States and Canada. People believe an animal called a groundhog predicts the weather on Groundhog Day. They watch as the groundhog comes out of its hole after hibernating. According to an old story, if the groundhog sees its shadow, winter will last 6 more weeks. If the groundhog does not see its shadow, spring will begin soon. Groundhog Day is February 2nd. Hey, that's today. Now, you may be wondering, what is a groundhog? Well, a groundhog is a type of rodent, just like mice, squirrels, and beavers. They are rodents too. Another name for a groundhog is a woodchuck, a marmot, or, this is my favorite, a whistle pig. Groundhogs live in woods and ravines in the United States and Canada. They are plump and furry, and their fur is often brown. Groundhogs search for food during the day and sleep at night. That's like us. They are herbivores, which means they eat leaves, flower stems, tree bark, and berries. They don't eat meat or other small animals. So, Groundhog Day was started in 1886 by Clymer Freeze, which is a great name. He decided that February 2nd would be Groundhog Day, and he lived in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, so that became the center of Groundhog Day celebrations. The groundhog that predicts the weather there every year is named Punxsutawney Phil. And he is not a wild animal. In fact, Phil lives at the local library. That's pretty cool. Do you think we should get a pet groundhog at our library? That could be fun. Now, on Groundhog Day, that's today, February 2nd, thousands of people watch to see Phil predict the weather. So Phil is taken from his home at the library to a hill called Gobbler's Knob, another great name, and he's placed in a warm burrow under a fake tree stump. At 7:25 a.m., that would be 6:25 here in Iowa, Phil is pulled out of his burrow while everyone watches. An official puts Phil to his ear so the groundhog can whisper his prediction. It's just pretend, but everyone likes the show. And the official is the one who says whether or not Phil saw his shadow. People across the country can watch this fun on television or on the internet and can celebrate Groundhog Day with games, dancing, eating, and even sleigh rides. That sounds like fun. Now, Punxsutawney Phil is not the only animal that predicts the weather on Groundhog Day. There is a groundhog in Alabama. There's one in Ohio. There are 2 in New York and 1 in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin calls itself the groundhog capital of the world. I didn't know that. Did you? And in Louisiana, there's a crawfish named Claude who predicts the weather. That's pretty fun. Now, on Groundhog Day, remember, the official tells the crowd what Punxsutawney Phil predicted. And if the groundhog predicts a long winter, people are disappointed. But if he predicts an early spring, people are happy. But Phil is not always right. People have kept records of his predictions for almost the entire time since 1887. But Phil has only been right less than half of the time. So he's not the best weatherman. But it's still a fun tradition. So we learned that there are lots of different groundhogs and even other animals that will help predict the weather. So we're gonna sing a song, 9 Little Groundhogs. And we're gonna sing it 4 times, and each time we're gonna use a different name for groundhogs that we learned in our book. So the first verse, we're just gonna say groundhog. Here we go. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little groundhogs, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little groundhogs, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little groundhogs, sleeping down under the ground. Okay, next we're going to call our groundhogs woodchucks, because remember that's another name for groundhog. So 9 little woodchucks. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little woodchucks, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little woodchucks, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little woodchucks, sleeping down under the ground. Okay, now we're gonna call them marmots. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little marmots, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little marmots, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little marmots, sleeping down under the ground. All right, this is our last verse. This one is my very favorite. Do you remember the last name for groundhogs? That's right, whistle pigs. Here we go. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little whistle pigs, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little whistle pigs, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little whistle pigs, sleeping down under the ground. Yay! Great singing, friends. All right, friends, I have 4 different groundhogs, and they are missing their shadows. So I need your help matching my groundhog friends with their shadows. Can you help me? Great. So our first groundhog today is just this little guy, just a regular old groundhog. Now let's see if we can help this groundhog find his shadow. Now let's see. Does he match with this shadow? Let's hold them up together. Are they the same shape? Not quite. What about this shadow? Are they the same shape? Not quite. What about this groundhog? Are they the same shape? They are. Look, 2 hands being held up, standing on the ground. Good job. All right, there's one groundhog with his shadow. Here's our next groundhog friend, and what does he have on his head? That's right, a top hat. He's got a hat on his head. So let's find a shadow where the groundhog has a hat. So let's see. Does this shadow match? Nope, no hat. What about this shadow? This shadow looks like it's maybe wearing a hat, but is the hat the same shape? Nope, they're different shapes. This shadow has a round hat, and this groundhog has a square hat. What about this shadow? Do they match? Yes, they are the same shape with that same square top hat. There we go. Okay, here's our next groundhog. Let's see, this groundhog is coming out of the ground and has some little flowers. This groundhog is predicting an early spring. So let's see, does it match this shadow? This shadow is also coming out of the ground, but does it have any flower shadows? No, it doesn't. What about this shadow? Is this shadow the same shape as our groundhog? It is. It even has those flower shadows for an early spring. Okay, here's our last groundhog friend. He's wearing a stocking cap and mittens. I think he's predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Let's find his shadow that matches. We just have one shadow left. Let's double check. Does this shadow have a round hat? And is it coming out of the ground? It is. Great job. So now we have our 4 groundhogs, or a groundhog, a woodchuck, a marmot, and a whistle pig, all matched back up with their shadows. Great job, friends. Our last book today is called Weather Signs, and it is written by Ted O'Hare. So we talked about how the groundhog seeing his shadow or not seeing his shadow is one way to try to predict the weather. Let's learn some other ways to predict the weather. No one can really be sure what today's weather will be like tomorrow or a week from now. But people use weather signs to try to help predict the weather. Some of the signs may be silly ones. For instance, some people who see cows lying down in a field know that rain is on the way because cows are saving a dry spot for themselves. Have you ever seen cows lying down in a field? Did you ever think, it might start raining? Every year on February 2nd, people look to the groundhog for signs about the weather. And look, there's a groundhog. In Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, if the groundhog comes out of its burrow and sees its shadow, it goes straight back in. That means that winter will last for 6 more weeks. On the other hand, if the groundhog doesn't see its shadow, it stays outside, and that means that spring is on its way. Now, what did we learn about Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog? Is he really good at predicting the weather? Is he right all the time? No, he is not even right half the time. So maybe that's not a very reliable way to know what the weather's going to be. Cows and groundhogs are one thing, but there are some truly helpful weather signs. Clouds are even more helpful when we want to predict the weather. If the clouds are puffy and white, like in this picture, the weather will be fair. That means it won't be too windy or too wet, or too sunny or too cloudy. It will just be pleasant. If, however, the clouds begin to pile on top of each other, thunderstorms are close by. And when high, thin cirrus clouds appear, chances are that heavy rain clouds will soon follow. So, if you look up at the sky and you look at the cloud shapes, that is one way to tell what the weather is going to be soon where you are. There's also a saying, rainbows at morning, sailors take warning. And another one says, rainbow at night, sailors delight. And these signs are also a good way to predict the weather because rainbows occur when sunlight passes through raindrops. So if a sailor or a person sees a rainbow late in the day, that means that bad weather has passed and is done. But a rainbow in the morning means that a new storm is on the way. I didn't know that. Seasons have climates. Geese and other birds migrate south each autumn. We see that where we live. And this flight means it is the end of summer and warm weather. When winter is coming, the coats of certain hares and weasels, hares are bunnies, their coats turn white. And that lets them blend in with the snow to protect themselves from predators or bigger animals who want to eat them. Returning birds and plants begin to surface when winter is ending. So the days may still be chilly, but the signs are that spring is on its way. Well, friends, I hope you learned some new things about groundhogs and shadows and weather today. I know that I did. But now it's time for our goodbye song. We read a book and we played a game and we sang a